Noah's Ark, the impossible project that defies modern science. Why do you believe you know the story of Noah's Ark? The one they told you as a child? The one with animals in a line and a rainbow at the end? Forget it, because behind the facade of a fairy tale lies one of the greatest enigmas of engineering and faith, a mystery that defies logic, science, and human understanding itself. Imagine a man without formal education, without computers, without even the wheel as we know it, and to him is given the task of building a colossus, a vessel so gigantic its construction would take decades, a project that, for his generation, was pure madness. And the most disturbing part, the dimensions of this ark, not just the size, but the proportions. The Bible is clear: 300 cubits long, 50 wide, 30 high. In our measurements, something like 135 meters long, 22 wide, and 13 high. Seems just big, right? But then, modern naval engineers, with all their technology, with computerized simulations and wave tank tests, make a discovery that leaves them speechless. The proportion of this giant box is incredibly efficient, perfect for surviving violent waters. We're talking about a 6-to-1 ratio, 6 units of length for 1 of width, exactly the same proportion range that many modern cargo ships use today to maximize stability in turbulent seas. How did Noah, a man of antiquity, without any apparent technical knowledge, arrive at such an optimized design? Was it pure luck? A miraculously correct guess? Or are we facing something much greater? A knowledge that transcends time and human capability. This is not a video about whether the flood was global or local, literal or symbolic. That's for another discussion. Here, on Between the Veils, we will delve into the most uncomfortable question. What, exactly, is hidden within the ark's design? Divine engineering? Lost technology from a forgotten age? Or a third option, more profound, that doesn't fit into any of the boxes your mind tries to create? Prepare to see Noah's Ark as you've never seen it before. The ark doesn't appear in a vacuum. It's the answer to a terrifying diagnosis. Genesis 6 tells us that the wickedness of man had multiplied on the earth, that every thought, every imagination of the human heart was continually inclined to evil. Before speaking of measurements and wood, the Bible speaks of corruption, of humanity that had twisted its own internal structure. God decides to intervene, not just with a climatic event, but with a dramatic reset of history, a judgment on a scale that, whatever you're reading, represents a limit. Thus far, in the midst of this scenario of moral collapse, a character emerges as a statistical anomaly. Noah, called righteous in his generation, not perfect, not flawless, but aligned with God at a time when almost everyone had decided to ignore him. It is to this man that God entrusts an impossible project, a colossal construction that would take decades without an engineering team, without sponsorship, without applause. And here, the discomfort grows. God doesn't explain everything. He doesn't offer a PowerPoint with hydrodynamic calculations. He speaks in cubits, in decks, in pitch, in compartments, and expects obedience. Noah builds a solution for a problem he'd never seen before. There's no record of a flood like it, no success stories for him to copy. He works for years on a prototype no one believes will be necessary. Can you imagine the tension? While people live their daily lives, marrying, eating, drinking, laughing at the obsession of that old man, building a giant ship on dry land, Noah carries a tension few could bear. What if I'm hearing God right and everyone else is wrong? Do you see? Before it was engineering, the ark was an altar of obedience. It's the materialization of a faith that chooses to act before understanding everything. And this is where the mystery deepens. Now let's go inside the hull. The biblical text isn't a complete technical manual, but it gives enough details to pique any engineer's curiosity. 300 cubits long, 50 wide, 30 high, an approximate ratio of 6 units of length to 1 of width. Modern studies, computer simulations, wave tank tests indicate that a proportion in this range is especially efficient for stability in agitated waters. Too wide, the vessel easily capsizes. Too narrow, it risks breaking apart. The ark described in Genesis falls within this spectrum. It's not a fast speedboat, it's a floating fortress. But there's more. The ark has no rudder, no sail. It wasn't made for navigation, it was made to endure. It's not a vehicle of direction, it's a womb of survival. The wood used is called gopher wood. No one knows for sure what that means today. Perhaps a specific type of tree, perhaps a generic term, perhaps something that no longer exists. The ark is coated with pitch, inside and out, large-scale waterproofing. It's not just a plank of faith, it's a project with real concern for sealing, durability, prolonged survival in a hostile environment. And there are even more details. It has 3 decks, not just an empty box. It's an organized space, divided, probably with thoughtful distribution of weight, of animals, of food, of water. There's an opening above that serves as an entrance for light and ventilation. A simple solution, but essential to keep alive all those breathing bodies inside. When you put all these elements together, a question naturally arises, and it's an uncomfortable one. Are we looking at a peasant improvising, a gigantic boat, with a miraculously correct guess? Or is there here a level of sophistication that points to a superior mind, guiding the process? Some will say, it's pure divine revelation. God gave the measurements. Others will suggest, Noah may have inherited fragments of ancient knowledge, more advanced than we imagine. But perhaps, if you go deep enough, you'll realize that the true mystery isn't in choosing one of these options, but rather in facing the possibility that God both inspires and uses what he has already planted in human intelligence. And this opens up a new layer of mystery. You can spend hours debating whether all species of animals could fit in the ark. Some will argue that the text speaks of basic kinds, not modern species classification. Others will mock the logistics of feeding, cleaning, organization. You can spend energy discussing whether the flood was global, literally covering the entire earth, or if it was a catastrophic regional event that, for those who lived through it, felt like the end of the world. You can even delve into scientific discussions that try to explain the flood by melting glaciers, collapse of natural barriers, extreme geological events. All of this is valid to investigate, but if you stay only there, you risk losing the spiritual core of the narrative. And that's exactly what we're going to reveal. Because in the end, the ark isn't just about how humanity survived. It's about why God chose to preserve someone in the midst of collapse. The ark is a miniature of a new creation. Inside, a microcosm of life floats above the chaos of the waters, waiting for the moment when the earth will emerge again. After everything passes, Noah exits, builds an altar, and God does something surprising. He establishes a covenant, places a bow of light, in the sky. This rainbow isn't just poetic decoration. In ancient culture, bows are weapons, and here the bow is pointed upwards, not downwards. It's as if God is saying, my judgment will no longer be poured out in this way upon you. I myself lift the weapon upwards. So, yes, there are mysteries of engineering, of logistics, of history, but there's something even more provocative, and that's what will make you question everything. The ark as an image of a God who chooses to preserve a remnant instead of simply pressing the universal delete button. And there's a mirror here, difficult to ignore. Noah builds an ark without visible proof that it will be necessary. He obeys a voice that everyone else calls paranoia. But what about you? Today, you are not being called to saw gopher wood and apply pitch to a megawood project. But perhaps there are arcs that God has already begun to whisper into your spirit, conversations you know you need to have before the flood comes, habits you need to build before the crisis, relationships you need to protect before the world around you floods with distraction. Are you listening? Arcs are not built when the first raindrop falls. They are built when the sun is still shining and everyone thinks it's overkill. So perhaps the deepest question isn't just whether the ark was a literal miracle or a project based on advanced knowledge. Perhaps the most dangerous question is, what arks am I failing to build because I don't understand everything yet? Noah didn't wait to understand the weather, calculate every cloud, or get the approval of the majority. He listened, he started, and he continued. And you? The ark challenges engineers, but it challenges even more hearts that only obey when everything makes sense on paper. In the end, perhaps the true mystery isn't how the ark was built, but why so few wanted to enter it. If you feel there's more to be revealed, that the hidden structures of the spiritual world are calling your attention, then this is just the beginning. Keep exploring between the veils, because the truth is always beyond what your eyes can see.